Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Colt Cherry. Today we're going to be working on the FC RX7, getting the engine bay prepped, cleaned up, ready for paint. You see, got some rust, surface rust on the frame there, back in this corner, a few other spots. So we're going to be getting the sandblaster out to clean all that up. I've already hit the engine bay with degreaser, scrubbed everything. Got it sort of ready just so I could see what I was really working with, because over here was just covered in oil and grease from years of whatever. We'll get this rolled outside, get the sandblaster set up, and start hitting the rough areas. And then we're going to be ready to put some primer in here. We got some self-etching primer. We got some build-up sandable primer. So hopefully this turns out pretty good. I haven't painted an engine bay before, but I think it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so everything's out of the engine bay. The only thing I can't get out is these two little nubs here. Those are going to be hidden by the headlight. No one will ever see them, so I'm just going to leave them. So I'm tired of fighting them. But we have the sandblaster here. It's just this little jug full of sand with air hooked up to it. Hopefully it works. A little slow, but it works. So I'm going to hit all this rust with that. Get it all cleaned up down to bare metal. And then probably a little more sanding on the paint, rough it up a little bit with Scotch-Brite. We should be good to go. Update. This really sucks, but it's coming out. It's hot out here. Sandblaster keeps clogging up on me because I didn't buy new sand. I'm just using old sand. This mask is hot. These glasses don't want to stay on my face. But getting her done. I think I'm done with the sandblaster. I think I got everything that I was worried about with it. I also got sand in my eye. Does not feel great. But whole frame rail is pretty well cleaned up. Anything else I'll get with hand sanding. Got everything that was in a hard to reach spot. The only thing that sucks about using a sandblaster, now I have to clean all this sand out of here before I can paint. And I'm sure there's a bunch of sand that got shot into my frame rail that I gotta clean out. I think we'll be able to blow most of that out with the air hose, make that happen. I'm gonna get this cleaned up and show you guys when I'm done. Guys, so it's been about a week since that last clip. And in that week, haven't had a lot of time to work. Got the first 2 layers of primer on the engine bay. As you can see, it's looking pretty decent. I did that right after I finished that last clip. And I got the car rolled inside. Been waiting for this van to move out of the lift for a few days. Finally, whenever they were able to get it running and moving, got it moved over, and I started working on this little spray booth here. I got a fan that I brought with me. We're gonna get that set up, and then gonna rub down the engine bay. So like I said, it's been about a week since I've sprayed this in here, so it needs a little bit of cleaning before we put any more paint on. We'll get that done and start putting on our sandable build-up primer. All right, we got the fan in. All it is a box fan with a furnace filter taped to the front of it. Got it all sealed off. So now that my build your own drug lab is complete, we can get the primer. Well, no, actually, first we gotta clean it up with some rubbing alcohol, just to make sure that it's all dry in here, nothing built up on it. We got a few spots like this, which I'm not really sure what that is. I don't know if that's just the old paint showing through, but put more primer on it, sand it down. If it's still showing, the black paint that we covered this all up with will hide that pretty well, I think. There's a few spots of it. Just looks like something's running down. I'm not really sure what that is. All right, so we got some 91% rubbing alcohol. We're gonna be wiping down the entire engine bay with just to dry it up a little bit and get any little bit of gunk that might have built up on it from the week of sitting here. You might notice I have a way to mount my phone now so you guys can actually watch me as I'm working instead of just doing an update every time I finish one set. So that'll probably be a little better for the videos, a little more entertaining. What we're going to do is get a little bit of rubbing alcohol on here. Don't want a whole lot. Just enough to wipe down everything. You can kind of see where you've been at as you're wiping. It'll build up. The nice thing about rubbing alcohol is it dries really fast. So you don't gotta sit there and wait for like a degreaser to dry up for you. You can just wipe down, get right to work. I'm gonna wipe down this whole engine bay, get it cleaned up, ready for the next coat of primer. I'm gonna switch over to these little microfiber towels because these blue towels are just getting tore up and leaving little bits of themselves everywhere. I really don't want to have to clean all that up too. It's also kind of rubbing down on the primer. So hopefully these will be a little softer on the paint and not make as much of a mess. Okay, so whole engine bay is wiped down with alcohol. Let that finish drying up a little bit. This self-etching primer is what I use for the first two layers. This took 2 cans. The reason I use that is because self-etching primer will bond to bare metal. And so we had a few spots like on the frame there where I was hitting with the sandblaster that was bare metal. The way that works is it just chemically bonds to it and then gives something for the filler and sandable primer to actually bond to. So now that this is all self-etching primer on here, we're good to spray the fill and sandable primer and build that up. I got 3 cans of that, so hopefully we'll get 3 layers out of it. I'm gonna get my mask on and we should be able to get right to it. Hopefully our cheap fan and filter setup is strong enough to clean all the overspray out. Hopefully I don't get gassed out while I'm in here. We're gonna start spraying and see how it goes. Okay, so that's 1 can of primer done. I'm gonna let that dry up a little bit, see how it looks after it's dry. It's not the most perfect layer, and I missed some up front here. Didn't have enough for 1 can to get all the way up here. But really what I'm worried about is the strut towers up in here and the fender wall, because that's what you're gonna see the most. A lot of this stuff up here is gonna be covered. Gonna have a shroud up here, the bumpers up front. It's been about 10 minutes, how much this stuff needs to dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a second coat on here. Gonna focus on getting this stuff up front, and then once that's covered with at least 1 coat, we're gonna start working on that stuff in the back. 2 cans in, pretty solid, pretty well all covered. So we got 1 more can that I'm gonna spray on the really important spots. After that, we're gonna let it dry for a few hours and then sand it, and then come back and hopefully paint it all black. So give this about 10 minutes to dry, come back, put the 3rd can of primer on, see what we're thinking. I have a 4th can if I really need it. It's not looking like I will. We're just gonna get that 3rd can on, see how it comes out, and go from there. Good, that's the 3rd can done. Gonna let that dry, come check on it. If that looks good, then we have to wait 2 to 4 hours before we can actually sand this down. If not, throw 1 more can on, but from how it's looking now, I think we'll be all right. One thing I am noticing is the sand from sandblasting. Thought I got it all cleaned out, but I think there is still some left in the frame rail, and it's kind of blowing out and getting on some of this paint. I think I'll be able to sand most of it down and make it look good. But I think even when we get to the black spray paint, it's probably gonna blow out some more. So I think it's just something I'm gonna have to live with. Not too worried about it. It's my first time painting an engine bay, so I didn't expect it to be perfect. But I think it'll look pretty decent for my first time as well. So that 3rd coat of primer came out pretty good. We got about 4 hours to wait. So while we're waiting, I'm gonna get the subframe cleaned up and get it repainted black. Alright, we've hit this with 4 layers of degreaser now. Should be all cleaned up. We're gonna hit it with some Scotch-Brite so that the primer actually wants to stick to it, and then start painting. So the subframe, fully covered in primer. This is a sandable primer, so this is also gonna have to wait about 4 hours for it to be dry. Not too worried about this side of it because this is the bottom. The top side, probably have to hit again right there where it's sitting on the table here. That I'm not too worried about. Not too worried about these edges either, because they are going to be what is tucked up and pressed against the bottom of the frame rail. So I think it's looking pretty good. There's some scuffs here from where the car had been bottomed out. Get this dried up, sanded down, and hopefully soon all the primer will be dried up in the engine bay. I want to interrupt the time lapse here to say thank you to everyone who watched and supported my last video. Really did not expect that video to do nearly as well as it did. I'm trying to record more and more of the work I'm doing instead of bringing you guys back for progress updates, which you can already see from this video here. But I'm having a blast showing everyone the work that actually goes into building a car like this, and I hope you guys stick with me as I learn how to build a car and as I grow as a YouTuber and learn how to edit and record properly. Anyways, like I said, thank you all for the support. I'll let you get back to the time lapse. So we got the whole engine bay painted black. Came out pretty good. Few spots down on the frame rail there I'm not too happy with, but first time, I think it looks pretty decent. So now all we have left is cover it with clear coat. Make it a little stronger, shine a little more. I got the subframe almost fully painted. Top's good. Still gotta hit the bottom with some black paint, but that'll also get clear coated. So I'm gonna finish up that subframe, get it drying, and then we'll be back in here to clear coat this and have it looking shiny. I'm gonna hit it. It's Eastwood 2K clear. Already got the push tab in there. Been shaking it for about 5 minutes now. Get my mask on and start making it look shiny. All right, we got it painted, put back together, and honestly, for my first time doing it, I'm not too disappointed. There are a few things I'm not too happy with. I don't know how well it'll show up on camera. Oh yeah, you can see it on camera. A little bit of orange peel in a few spots, but altogether, I think it came out really nice. This tower came out pretty decent. Subframe, I didn't show much of recording that because it was really just the same process as painting this, except smaller. But yeah, I'm not too upset with it. It definitely looks a lot better than when it was a mix of blue and rust and old primer. So I think we now have a pretty solid base to build off of. I don't have to worry about rust in here. And when I put stuff in here, it'll kind of make it look a little nicer. Hide some of the wiring from the stock harness when I put it back in. But yeah, a few things I still gotta do. This bolt here for the headlight snapped off, taking it out. And this bolt down here snapped off, which I think I can get to them from underneath, up in there. Should be able to put a little slit in it and turn it out with a screwdriver, hopefully. Same for this one, it's a little easier to get to. Right there. Also, off camera, put some liner inside the wheel wells so they'll look nice. They won't stand out when I put the fenders back on. On this side, same thing. Nice black. Everything one color. Didn't paint these because they'll be under the fenders. Not too worried about it. And you can see where I taped off here. Already getting a little dusty. Yeah. I think it came out pretty well. Pretty happy with it. Hope you're excited. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.